Ashley Brister. I'm the farm director at Sharing the Harvest Community Farm here at the Dartmouth Y. And I know many of you have started gardens this year in response to COVID and growing. Yeah, a lot of people have some hobby gardens in your backyards, and I just wanted to give you some gardening tips on how to take soil tests. This is an ideal time, especially given the warm spell that we've been having, to take soil tests and get them into a lab in order to assess your soil and make plans for next spring to amend your soil and keep your soil healthy and grow nutrient-dense crops. Here at Sharing the Harvest Farm, we're going to take about 200 samples and send them into Logan Labs, which is a private lab in Ohio. But you can go to a more local extension, a land-grant college. UMass Amherst has a soil testing, I think about $10 a sample. Logan Labs is a little more expensive, at around $25, but we feel it's worth it because it gives us more extensive mineral and biological profile of our soil, so we can amend accordingly. So there are several reasons why we soil test. One is, and this time of year in the fall is when we choose to do it, because at this point in the season we're trying to replace everything that we've taken out of the soil when we harvest the crops, and trying to replace that with our fertility amendments. And by doing it this time of year, we have time to go over our soil tests and buy those applications so they'll be ready for us to apply in the spring. This field is where our tomatoes were growing. We've got, you can see there's some oats and peas growing. And I'm going to show you two different tools that you can use to take soil samples. Basically we want to, this is about 48 feet by 175. So we're going to take soil samples every 12 feet going in both directions. So one trick I use, I know my own pace, so to measure 12 feet, I'm just going to pace it out. So I pace it up this long is 3 feet, I've measured that out. So if I pace it out every 12 feet, I can take a soil sample here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 12, another 12 feet, I'm going to take a soil sample and then just go down the field here. And then I know, based on the measurements of our bed, about every 3 beds, so from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to take another soil sample. I'll probably move it out to the pathway here. So basically every 3 beds or so you can take a soil sample. We have 30-inch beds here, so that's, if you have a garden at home, you can measure it out per bed. So basically there are 2 tools. There's a third tool that you can use. An auger is the best tool to use. I can't seem to locate our auger today, but a tool that most people have access to is just a standard trowel. And what we're going to do, we're going to start here on this bed, and we're going to take a soil sample. Basically 6 inches deep is how deep you want to go to take that soil sample. And you're going to want to clear a little area, just remove that top inch or so of soil and any root material from your cover crop, or if you still have plants in the ground, you don't want to take the roots of those plants. So basically you're trying to get the parent soil, the native soil, and not if you apply compost, or we just applied chicken manure, composted chicken manure to this field right before we planted this cover crop. So I don't want to be measuring the fertility or the profile of that compost. I want to be getting deeper down to the parent material underneath that top layer. So I'm just removed the top half inch or inch or so of the soil and the roots, and I'm digging down, making a little square with my trowel, and then scooping it up, like so. And then again, just to make sure we're just measuring the parent material, the native soil underneath, and not the top layer of the soil, we can just scoop that soil into the 5-gallon bucket. One thing that I forgot to mention, it's very important that you start with a clean bucket. I washed before this video. I washed out this bucket and the tools that we're going to be using to take our soil samples with soapy water and let them sit in the sun in the greenhouse to make sure there was no organic matter that would affect the results of our soil tests. So starting with clean tools is a good starting point. So this is one tool. We can work our way down, and then I'll show you how you can just use a common garden shovel as well. Grab this for you. So again, my pace, I know my pace, and it's pretty accurate within less than a foot is 3 feet per step. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be 12 feet. And again, scrape away that top layer. And then again, you're looking for it to get down underneath. And we can even scrape off the majority of this top layer. So the reason why an auger is so good to use, we only need to send about a cup of this soil sample into the labs. So with an auger, it goes much deeper, and you get a smaller soil sample, so you don't have to haul around a bunch of heavy soil, I should say, not dirt. So those are the examples of the 2 tools that you probably have in your home to use for soil testing. Again, if you want to get a little more professional, you can research soil augers, and they go deep down, a little deeper into the soil profile, and give you a smaller soil sample that's easier to work with. The next step is going to be I'll take the rest of these soil samples off camera,